Good morning, dear student. As today is the first class of strength of material, so we will discuss about the introduction part today. Okay, what is the strength of material? Why we study about the subject? What are the implementation of the subject, and how we can use the concept of strength of material in civil engineering? Right. So all we will discuss today here. Let's start the class. First of all, if we talk about introduction, in civil engineering there are various streams, okay, like structural engineering, geotech engineering, environmental engineering, transportation engineering, etc. And if we go for further study, we have to stream a branch of civil engineering, and we will do our further study. So in structural engineering, if we talk about structural engineering, the structural engineering is a subdivision of civil engineering. Okay, in structural engineering, the structural engineers are trained to design the bone and muscles of a structure to create its shape and form. Like a human body, the component of a structure behave as a bone and muscles, and without the proper design of these bone and muscles of a structure, the structure cannot be survived, okay? Cannot be stable. So have to very we have to take care various parameter which generally occur on our structure for design. Okay, the structural engineer need to understand and calculate the stability, strength, and rigidity of structure, civil engineering, building or non-building. Okay, it may be a building type structure or non-building type structure, like bridge, okay, tunnel, anything. If we talk about structural engineering, we study structural engineering in two parts. Okay, first one is analysis, and second one is design. First, we do analysis. After that, the values we use the value of analysis and do design of the structure. In analysis, we calculate various reaction parameters like bending moment, shear force, deflection, torsion, what is generally occur that on that particular structure. And on the basis of those values, those reaction values, we decide the dimensions, specification of various members of a structure, and that is called design. Analysis means to calculate the reaction parameter, their critical values, and design means to give the shape and size, dimension, quantity of material of that particular member. In analysis series, we study strength of material and structural analysis. Okay, and that first we will discuss in this semester. Okay, in detail. And in design series, we study design of RCC structure, design of steel structure, design of pre-structured concrete, design of masonry structure, many subjects we discuss in design. Okay, right. Then body or element or component. If we talk about element or any body or any component, any member of a structure become by the elements. Okay, and this element may be of any material. It may be a metal, it may be concrete, steel, aluminium, copper, anything. Okay. So the body is divided into two parts: rigid body and deformable body. What is rigid body and what is deformable body? As any element and body is formed by n number of molecules. There are n infinite number of molecules inside a element or body, and the distance between two elements is fixed. If we discuss about, if we suppose that there is an element, and this is a one particle, and this is the second particle of this element. So the distance between these two particle is fixed. And if we apply load on that particular element, on the basis of load behavior, we divide the element in two parts. First one is rigid and second one is deformable body. Yeah, deformed body. If after the application of load, the distance between two molecule change, okay, the body will be called deformed body. And if the distance between two particles doesn't change after the application of load, the body will be defined as the rigid body. There is no any kind of deformation on rigid body after the application of load, and that is the ideal condition. In practical life, no such kind of body belongs. Every body deform under any magnitude of load. It may be low or high. Okay, so rigid body is a ideal concept. There is no any body in practical life which is rigid. Every body deform under certain amount of loading. So here in diagram we can understand, we can see the differences. There is a element, okay, we applied a tensile load on that particular element, the other end is fixed, and after the loading the element is stretched. Okay, if the length of the element is L, here the del L amount of change of length will occur. That generally happens in deformable body. So in strength of material, as last semester we have studied mechanics, and now in this semester we are going to study strength of material. What are the basic differences between these two subjects? These both of them are part of solid mechanics. Mechanics and SOM is part of solid mechanics. So what are the basic differences? The basic difference is type of material. In mechanics, we discuss about rigid body. Okay. In mechanics, we don't talk about deflection, deformation of a body. We only discuss about the pattern of loading, their behavior, their resultant values. Okay. We don't talk about the deformation by the load, because if we are discussing about rigid body, the deformation will not occur on rigid body at any magnitude of loading. Okay, and strength of material, we discuss about the deformed body. We talk about deflection, deformation of a body under the action of loading, right? So there, this is the basic difference between mechanics and strength of material, their type of body, what we deal on these subjects. So keep in mind the basic difference between the mechanics and strength of material. Okay, right. Another important parameter part of the subject is unit. Okay, we generally confuse very much about the units, and that will create a very problems for us in the subject, right? Without the unit, we cannot define any parameter properly. Okay, so we should understand the concept of units and various type of unit patterns. In physics, we have already studied the unit is divided two part: fundamental unit and derived unit. Fundamental unit means basic units, and these are length, mass, and time for distance, mass, and time. Okay, and the derived units are derived with the help of fundamental units like area, velocity, acceleration, pressure, etc. System of units, four system of units are used throughout the world: the MKS unit, CGS unit, FPS unit, and SI units. And we will use extensively SI unit here. Okay, SI unit, international system of unit, which is used throughout internationally. So it helps us to understand the parameter globally. Okay, the basic units what we are going to use in the subject is force. The unit is Newton. Pressure, the unit is Pascal. Pascal means Newton per meter square, or 10 power minus 6 Newton per mm square. We can convert meter in mm, then the value will be 10 power minus 6. Right? Stress, again Pascal. Work done, Joule. Work done is what? Work done is force and displacement. The multiplication of force and displacement. That is called work done. So Newton meter is Joule. And power in watt. What is power? Rate of work done, time of work done, joule per time, joule per second. So these are the basic units what we will use in the subject. As we are discussing the introduction, what we are going to use in the subject, and that will help us a lot to understand the subject easily. Okay, and will help us to do the calculations in an easy way. That's why we are discussing all these things. I'm sure you all have studied these parameters in previous semester or previous classes. Okay, this is just for your reminder. Then again, we use some prefixes for the simplification of our unit. Okay, if we have a larger amount of data or a lengthy data, then we can convert it in a short data by using some prefixes like tera, giga, mega, kilo and hecto. In the same way, deci, centi, milli, micro, nano and pico. Tera means what? Tera means 10 power 12. This is not 10 12. This is 10 power 12. Okay. Giga means 10 power 9. We can put in the place of 10 power 9 giga. The abbreviation is capital G. Okay. Mega means 10 power 6. We can replace 10 power 6 with mega, or we can put 10 power 6 in the place of mega anywhere. Okay. And we will use these prefixes very extensively in our subject. Kilo 10 power 3, hecto 10 power 2. In the same way with the minus power, deci 10 power minus 1, centi 10 power minus 2, milli 10 power minus 3, micro 10 power minus 6, nano 10 power minus 9 and pico 10 power minus 12. So we will these values will be given in your numerical in an abbreviation. So we should know the numerical value of these abbreviations, these prefixes. Okay, only that case we can use them properly. That's all for today. Thank you.